Holy Mother and Father, give me a clear voice to bring this testimony to the world. I break down and dissolve every black magic curse that has tried to inhibit my voice, this work, that has tried to steal and diminish and cast doubt over the truth. Our work has been to prepare people for events that they need to be prepared for inevitable events that have long been appointed to occur through the celestial calendar cycle. Hence why they could be written about and recorded by the ancients, because these are reoccurring events. And these events are due to unfold and occur again for this generation. I have dedicated much of my life, the last 2 years, to bring forward the information that has been brought forward, to recognize the information that has been brought forward, and not just by my own hand, but by the helper, spirit, that has allowed me to be a messenger, to bring forward information that is going to impact everybody in due course. As events unfold through their stages, through these days of increasing trials and tribulations, we have spoken and revealed the true meaning of the celestial crossings to come that see to the birthing of the new suns and the new age. In due course, these events will be more so manifest, and the truth of our testimonies will be beyond doubt in many ways. The following information and the following data that's going to be shown to you is based upon a video that we have already produced and given warning of, and that is relating to the pending Cascadia subduction event. This is an event that has long been warned of, but we detected a signaling via the elites in one of their rituals, and I will link that video in the description for your reference. Now, we have actually provided a lot of the evidence for our testimonies through what has already been released by the keepers of the secrets, by the keepers of the mysteries, who have the awareness of the repeating cycles and exactly what happens through these convergences. If you do not seek through these evidence pieces that we have supplied in our folders, in music, in movies, and other forms of media, then you will find it more difficult in order to place the pieces together. But I can assure you that all the testimony that we have provided relating to the convergence of the event horizon, which is all to do, if you're new here, with the celestial crossings that ignite suns, the newborn sun, So if you seek through those pieces of evidence, you will find that all the information is backed up, even in regards to the identity of Adam and Eve and what the forbidden fruit symbolized relating to harvesting and the upcoming harvest. So this video that I'm going to show you is directly related to events of tribulation and what the Spirit has allowed me to know. Relates to one of the earliest seals that is going to be broken to allow the world to know that we are in the end times. And that will be the Cascadia subduction event, which will be a major event and will cause much widespread death and destruction. This is not stated to inspire fear, where all of us will be affected in due course by these events. So if anything, we need to come to an inner peace of what is to come. And I'm no exception to that. So this video I actually had included in one of our music folders, but I didn't actually see its meaning initially, and I'm quite surprised that I didn't. But strangely enough, I actually only caught the meaning only about a week or so ago when I reviewed this music video. And I was startled by what I saw and what I was able to identify. And I will give you a run through right now. So this is where the elites do provide a window of opportunity for the truth to be released and unveiled. And this music video is a perfect example of that. Because once I bring this to your attention, you too will recognize it. And what has prompted me to reveal and do this recording now, where I was planning to do it later on, was when I monitored the earthquakes, which I do daily, earthquake activity, and there has been a spate of quakes in the Cascadia subduction zone region. Again, this is not to alarm anybody, but I don't take it as an accident that this video that I'm about to show was brought to my attention just a week ago, and now I'm seeing this. So I'm going to follow that as a nudging that I'm meant to get this video out now, and not because I'm saying that the Cascadia subduction zone event is going to occur, in the near future. I do not know. All I know is that I'm meant to reveal this information now, and I do follow my nudgings when it's of the Spirit. The title of this music video is from the group Hiatus, and it's called Fortune's Full. And what you're going to see here is a chainsaw coming down into a piece of wood. And that wood is representing the tectonic plates of the Cascadia subduction zone. But see it for yourself. The lyrics here include the words kissing you, and that is relating to the coming convergence of the star bodies. And the code is that when they come together, they kiss, they make contact. There's going to be alignments occurring closer and closer, and those alignments are going to see through to the end of the age. So you'll notice the chainsaw says Oregon. The numerology there, 9 to the 1. 9 denoting conclusion, of the age, one denoting the new age. And when you see through the rest of this video, it's actually going to show you that's what it's symbolizing, the new age. But before the new age comes destruction. So I'll just track it through. And please watch this video in full. I can't include it in full because for copyright reasons, obviously. So examine it for yourselves, please, and then hopefully the spirit affirms it. So this is the house being reordered, the tectonic plates being reformed, and it's going to symbolize the new world and its new structure when these tectonic shifts occur, and they're going to be increasing more so. So this is the world being remodeled, and through the spate of tectonic activity, and as all this activity culminates to a pole shift, then the new ship representing Earth is going to be rebuilt. And that's what's happening here. So this is the new Earth. It's going to be setting sail in the plasma sea. And I wanted to show you something that is very significant also. Okay. So what you're going to see here, because we've decoded that the crucifixions are relative to celestial convergences, celestial crossings. There's the symbol right there. And the full effects of the convergence have not happened at that stage where everything goes supernova. So this is showing relative to the Cascadia subduction zone event through the course of these celestial crossings. Some of these things I wish I didn't see, but if I see it, I'm going to speak of it. So yeah, I just felt the need to bring that forward. And we are not to live in a spirit of fear, but a spirit of hope and a spirit of fortitude and spiritual fortitude. When I speak of fortitude, where we are so much more than the flesh, and really this is just a temporal state of being and state of mind. And let's focus on the things that are eternal, to not be too attached to the flesh or to the material, because it's fleeting, and we don't take that with us. So and not to sound corny, but really it's the love in us that endures. So let's hold to the things that endure far beyond the material world and the flesh. And this is just a stopover, an important stopover, and a stopover with great meaning and great purpose in this testing ground, because we're all being tested and none of us are exempt from that. May you all have a safe and prosperous period through the new year, and the now, the eternal now, and may we all evolve and aspire to personal evolution, where the only thing we can ultimately take control over is our own thoughts, our own creation, and our own decision making. We can't always inhibit others from employing will that is against good spirit and is against their own evolution. So I'm just advocating positive evolution, and I send forward love and healing to those who have come against us and perceived us as the enemy for bringing forward these messages. There's nothing I can do about how we are perceived. the truth will become self-evident. But obviously, I know that when people can't fight the truth, oftentimes they will try to attack and fight the messengers because they cannot attack the truth. The truth is. And the truth will always stand. The truth will always endure. Even when wickedness withers away. And there will come a time for the positive singularity. But first it gets darkest before the dawn. And we all need to be prepared. Well, we should be prepared. You should want to be prepared. Because if you are not prepared, then that can affect negatively your evolution potentials, where we are all called to the truth. Anyway, thank you to everybody who has shown love and support. And thank you to those who have not shown love and support, because you too have been great teachers. And you have helped bring a fire of refinement to me also, to help me develop a thicker skin to endure through opposition, where opposition here is inevitable. Of course, we are within the duality system, with the law of opposition in all things, and where the wheat and the tares have been planted together in many ways. So, and these tares are not necessarily human in what we perceive as human, beyond just the illusions of what we see of the flesh container. And some are specifically programmed as biological entities to fulfill what has been designed to be fulfilled in this script. And yes, it is a simulation. However, it is a simulation where our will is allowed. Some events are fixed. Our will is not. It is our choice. So, for all those who are genuine seekers, I do recommend, if you have the fortitude to come into greater awareness, and if you are more so new here to our station, then I do recommend that you go through our videos specifically relating to the convergence events and the astrotheological testimonies, and then go into our folders, our music and video folders, and you'll see just how widespread the same consistent message has been applied, though veiled, in how this game here is played by the elites. However, they are charged and they must release it. They have to do it. Even for their negative deeds that they feel obligated to perform, which I do not advocate at all, in how they feel they have to bring that forward. And there is consequences to anyone that deliberately harms someone else. There is cause and effect for that by universal law. The elites are no exception to them going through their own tests and trials to overcome deception. They too are part of the game and the testing field and the course of evolution. I just want to see good outcomes for everyone, even though I know it's not going to happen, but that's what I want to see. More will be brought forward because I have a lot of information that has been linked up, a lot of revelation in the Bible that has been deciphered, and I'm going to be bringing some of that forward as well, though hopefully by now a lot of you get the picture. and are less resistant. And it's going to be for your own good the less resistant you are to it. I know people do not want to see these events come about, but the sun has to rise as his son is dying. It's as it's always been, and the ancients knew it. And now you know it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I want to provide some corroborating evidence based on what I picked up and in decoding the symbology that has been used in the elitist rituals that have been conducted in order to symbolize the coming event relating to the Cascadia subduction zone and its validity, where they do have to put it out there when there is a pending event that is major and massive, as this will be, as a result of celestial alignments that are accelerating. But what people don't realize is the true reason for these climate shifts. Now, of course, emissions and things like that do impact the environment negatively, but that's just a cloak for the more significant electromagnetic influences that are affecting these climate shifts, celestial events that are going to be creating these deeper impacts on the Earth and, of course, upon us as well as electromagnetic beings. So as above, so below, everything is being affected and shifted through this. I'm just going to go now and I'll just share screen. So on Feb 24, 2018, we published a video that was based on this event that you see right here, which was an Amtrak derailment that occurred. Okay, so I've just picked something up just now. This is pretty massive. In this music video, which is coded, the chainsaw has 105 written on it. So I just picked up now that the Amtrak event that we alerted everyone to, that was train 501, that chainsaw has 105. So that's the same numerical code on there, which adds up to a number 6. Now, in my decoding, I spent the last 2 years doing this. I picked up that the number 6 is attributed as a Jupiter code. And what's interesting about that is that you'll actually see that in the film Teen Wolf, which is a coded movie, where Teen Wolf, played by Michael J. Fox, is actually sporting the number 24, which adds up to 6, and plays for the Beavers. So you know now that Beaver is a code for Jupiter, and the opposition that he's playing against is the team representing Saturn. And towards the end, when they're playing the final basketball match, there's actually a song playing in the background which says, "Take the rings of Saturn." And that same code of Saturn's rings being removed by Jupiter is also in the song Regulate by Warren G, where Warren G sings, "They took my rings, they took my Rolex," and a Rolex just being a symbol for taking the time, because Saturn is the lord of time. This is all coded, and once you learn how to decipher the symbology, basically tells the story. And how it's worked for me is once I've cracked one code, it's unlocked another code, and so forth. And so a lot of this has opened up, and now I'm seeing just how rife these celestial codes have been revealed through decades. And that's why I've included a lot of the evidence pieces that have spanned decades relating to the convergence of the event horizon, which is basically the whole solar system shifting and moving. But there's primary bodies that are involved. And when I say primary bodies, I'm talking about the ones that have more so electromagnetic pull. And Alcyone and Jupiter are two major proponents that are going to be affecting the electromagnetics greatly. And Jupiter is the Lamb of God, as coded in Revelation, and he opens the first 6 seals. So he provides the electromagnetic pull greatly for the other bodies to come in and wreak their effects on Earth. And you'll see here, there's graffiti on the bridge. So where this ritual occurred and where these trains derailed right at this spot, at this bridge with graffiti on it with the message "Lab Rat Nats." And what's interesting is that the James Bond film Skyfall actually has a little anecdote relating to rats. Those two figures in the scene, one is James Bond and he's representing Jupiter. I previously thought he was representing Saturn because of the number 7, 007. 7 is often coded to Saturn, more often than not, but in this case James Bond is Jupiter. And in the scene in Skyfall, he's in the scene with the actor Javier Bardem, and he was often played certain archetypes in his movies. No Country for Old Men being one example of that. Now, the rats are the celestial bodies, and the anecdote talks about how eventually they eat each other, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Is these converging bodies of Saturn and Jupiter, when they collide with one another, the code is that they consume one another because they merge into each other when they ignite. Lab rat gnats, and we are in the lab because this is an experiment, as we have stated before, and it's the rats experiment of these celestial bodies, where the stars created this realm. And there's graffiti on the bridge, and that is going to be relevant to what I'm going to show you now. Now, we have already outlined in our video Biggest Secrets of the Age, which I highly recommend people watch. The Prince was one of the mystery revealer agents of the coming celestial convergences, and this record cover is another major example of that. Now, I'll just do a quick run through. The tree here is upside down, and that denotes the earthen tree, which is going to be turned upside down metaphorically with these coming convergence events. And it's harder to see here, but these are actually lightning bolts. And the lightning, as we've shown in previous videos, is related to the bodies of Saturn and Jupiter, which are both symbolized by lightning, with Saturn being referred to as Satan, and Jupiter often being represented in symbology as carrying the lightning bolt of Thor, with Thor's hammer. And the lightning also applies to Neptune in symbology. We have the female here, that is Alcyone. You have the spirals here, and that is to signify the celestial movements that influence the convergences that are to come, and also the spiral of creation, how everything is cyclical. Symbol here, in this case, the crucifix is a symbol for Saturn, and the arrowhead is a symbol for Jupiter's arrow, which is going to penetrate. Well, really, it's both of them working in conjunction. So Jupiter and Saturn are actually working in conjunction with one another electromagnetically, coded as twins, Cain and Abel, and they are going to penetrate the Earth in their great influence. You'll see here they're the angels. They're the fallen angels, because this is an inverted underworld that we're in. So the stars are coded as being the fallen angels on the macro level. See a crucifix there because the crucifixion is the celestial crossing. So the bodies of Jupiter and Saturn are the first two horsemen of the apocalypse, and Jupiter, being the Lamb of God, opening the first 6 seals, he is the first horseman. And Revelation does speak of the wrath of the Lamb to come, and these are the tribulation events that have everything to do with the influences of the stars, the angels. So I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. So let's just have a look now at Revelation 6. which specifically focuses on the lamb that opens the first 6 seals. And it states, and there you go, here's interesting, I just picked that up now. Chapter 6, and Jupiter is coded as number 6. That's why it's all about the lamb. And like I said, watch Teen Wolf, and I know it sounds silly, but this is how the elites reveal the mysteries, and Revelation and the Bible is a code book that has been assembled and written by the elites, for the elites, and for those with the eyes to see, those who become initiated through being seekers. And this is your calling as well, to become initiated into the truth by seeking it. And like I said, I'm a way shower. I don't have all the answers. I would never proclaim that. And I'm just revealing what has been brought to my eyes to see and to share. And you have here, I heard one of the 4 living creatures say with a voice like thunder, go. And there you go, that's the thunder code there for Jupiter. Now look, there was a white horse and its rider had a bow. Now that's interesting because the bow and arrow, the film Rambo, he's representing Jupiter. And Sylvester Stallone has represented Jupiter in more than one film. One that comes to mind, well, 2 that come to mind off the top of my head. One is Cobra. And again, it's the inversion applied because the snake is a symbol for Saturn. But they call him Cobra because, again, they're just doing the law of confusion. But he's representing Jupiter, not Saturn, the snake. Jupiter is actually killing Saturn at the conclusion of that film. And you'll see Rambo uses the arrow quite often in those films. So he was given a crown and rode off as a warrior to win battles, and that's because Jupiter is also Archangel Michael. This whole chapter has everything to do with what Jupiter is going to influence upon the accompanying celestial bodies, and how he's going to be pulling them in so that their influence is also going to impact upon Earth, and they will be the plagues of tribulation. So I just wanted to share that. I'm not going to do any full analysis here. I'm just sharing what's relevant to this piece. And I'm also going to show another piece of evidence now in relation to the Amtrak ritual. So when these Amtrak trains derailed at DuPont, Washington, there was a removal crew tasked, and there's code supplied even with the symbology applied by what's seen on the removal machinery, oxbow. And there you go, you've got the ox, which also ties into the bull symbology of the 2 red bulls, which we decoded that the bi-bulls, the 2 bulls, are Jupiter and Saturn. And there's also an XO code here. And the XO code, as put out there by Artist Weekend, is X, Saturn, O for Alcyone. And we've decoded that and displayed that in previous videos. Like I said, it's all there. Everything is corroborated, but I can't show everything all at once. It's just too much work to do, and we've already done the work. So you got to do your bit now if you want to know the truth, and follow up on the materials that we've produced. So another piece of the evidence as well is when this story first broke. Have a look at the background. There's a bus in the background. And I don't know whether it's just part of the matrix effect where the truth is made apparent, or whether this bus was deliberately placed in the background, because it's literally showing that it is the stars that are going to be causing this Cascadia event. Now, I earlier suspected that it could be engineered, And there is a possibility that it could be both. And what I mean by that is that the star's influence is going to strongly weaken the tectonic plates. But what can occur is that the negative factions of the elite could use technology to hasten the event and perform the event in accordance with how they want it timed. So technically, it could be both influences occurring there, but the way that the elites have put it out there and what they're saying here, if in fact they've placed this bus in the background as part of the window of opportunity for those with the eyes to see, is that it's going to be the cause is celestial by the course of the stars, as expressed by the term star line. So I just wanted to point that out as well. I was going to do a more comprehensive video on this in the near future, but like I said, I've been nudged to get this out there now, and I don't know. I'm not sure. I might not produce a further video on this, because really it's there for those with the eyes to see. I feel that those who are connected with spirit will recognize the truth in my words and in this testimony and in the evidence that has been presented and what I've been guided to. I'm sharing what I've felt strongly nudged to share, and it's up to you what you do with the information. At the end of the day, things are going to get upended everywhere, but this is basically for those who this message is meant to be brought to. I know I'm doing my bit. The good spirit will lead those who are meant to be led to see this, and then they can put their own will into what they do with this information, because I know it's going to get bad pretty much everywhere. So, but people through the course of their lives will be guided where they need to be, and some people are meant to have more time here as part of their evolutionary course, and also an opportunity as well to turn their negatives to positives and their weaknesses to strengths. And some people do need more time to tip the scales and to make amends for some of the errors that they've made. And when I say make amends, I mean make amends in their heart, and towards others where they can, where it is safe and possible to do so. And really, if we have harmed others intentionally, we should be trying to make amends for that. We're not here to be rebellious. We're not here to live and walk in our pride and to think ourselves as self-righteous and being beyond reproach, and to be haughty and things like that. So yeah, we're meant to be brought to a righteous humbling in our lives when we do not act in good spirit. And I'm certainly part of that as well. I have not lived a blameless life, not by a long shot. So I haven't lived a terrible life. I advocate people defend themselves. We have a right to defend ourselves, but I certainly do not advocate anyone attacking or deliberately harming anyone else, without any provocation whatsoever. But I do advocate a right to defense, and where we need to apply a wisdom even in that. So some battles we're meant to let slide, and sometimes we're meant to stand up, and show our strength and our fortitude. So we're not meant to be punching bags either. May this work and this testimony reach those it is meant to, and may it only affect good things by those who receive it. Thank you once again for watching, and we'll be bringing more forward. Credit to Lauda for the information regarding the Cascadia event being one of the earlier precursor events, because she indicated that to me, that it is going to be one of the first major events that signal the heightening of tribulations. So credit where it's due, and yeah, she'll be bringing more to the table as well, because she has a lot to testify to. And there is a spirit of truth, and there is a station of truth, and the truth will ring like a bell to those it is meant to, and it will strike at the heart of those it is meant to. Thank you.